66% of new parents reported feeling severely lonely. And so it affects new parents adversely more than anyone. And I think it starts during pregnancy, right? You're not going to the bars, you're not staying up late because you are growing this baby and you're tired. And so you start to distance yourself, and then postpartum hits, and all of a sudden you are isolated to your home. You can no longer be available to do the things that all your friends who are not barricaded with a newborn.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Be Her Village podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin McGrayas. In this episode, we're going deeper into that conversation about community around mothers and how the new mom school can help address the loneliness epidemic that new moms are facing. I wonder if you would agree that not finding your village, not finding your community is almost the standard. It is probably what more new moms experience than this incredible, built-in community that people are finding. And I wonder if you could speak a little bit more to that abrupt shift that happens when you become a mother, that somebody right now might be listening to this thinking, oh, sure, all right, mom friends, but like I already have friends, and not maybe realizing, for myself, certainly, like I had friends, but I was in my 20s. We went out to bars. That was my friends. And then all of a sudden I had this baby and nobody else had a baby, and they were all out at the bars, and I was like in bed at 7:30 wondering what I had just done to blow my life up. It was so abrupt, and I did certainly feel lonely. I wonder if you could speak a little bit to what you're seeing for the people who aren't getting support, and how we can speak to somebody who's in that before time to really understand how lonely it can feel without mom friends.
Absolutely. And it is definitely an epidemic across this whole nation right now. I believe the Surgeon General reported that 66% of new parents reported feeling severely lonely. And so it affects new parents adversely uh, more than anyone. And I think it starts during pregnancy because all of a sudden you can't do the same things as all your friends who aren't pregnant, right? You're not going to the bars, you're not staying up late because you are growing this baby and you're tired. And so you start to distance yourself from your friends, and then postpartum hits, and all of a sudden you are isolated to your home and you're on a 3-hour clock if you're breastfeeding, and you can no longer be available to do the things that all your friends who are not barricaded with a newborn are able to go out and do. And it reinforces this feeling that you're alone in this, that nobody else understands. And even getting out of the house can be such a challenge when you're in that headspace. And that is why we're so passionate about having classes in person and we won't shift to a virtual model, is because we believe that as hard as it is to get a mom with a 3-week-old baby dressed out of her house in the car to a new class that she's never been before, we believe that that is critical to changing the game of her postpartum experience, because the feeling of accomplishment that you have once you've done that, and maybe baby cried, maybe they had a blowout, maybe they got fussy and hungry, that's okay because ultimately nothing bad happened. We were all there with our fussy babies too. And maybe you learned a new baby trick to soothe them, or maybe you learned about a new white noise machine that you're going to pick up, or something you're going to Amazon that'll help with that. And you leave class feeling like, I can do this. I can leave the house and I'm going to be okay, even if this happens or that happens. And we've had several times where the new mom coming to class, that is her first time leaving the house since baby was born. And we're 4 weeks in, right? And especially twin moms, we see that with the most. And helping them through the logistics of that and overcoming those fears is so important for their mental health, because then it empowers them to do everything else that they want to do. It empowers them to go to Starbucks, to go to the grocery store, to go on a walk. and become a part of society again, and really helps with that loneliness and feeling disconnected that so many of us are affected by. And so there's a huge part of that that's just about getting mom reintegrated into the village, into the community. And the other aspect is that we create structure in the class to help moms find common ground. So again, we want them to find friends that know what they're going through. And for me, I'm an introvert. And so I will not strike up conversations at the playground. Like, I have a really hard time with meeting people through those friendship apps or on Facebook groups or following up with people after a stroller walk. And so our program is perfect for people like me because we're going to take the labor out of making friends, because you're going to show up to the same place, the same time every week. You're going to see the same people there. Already you have so much common ground. Your babies are the same age. You're going through the same stuff. You're learning the same stuff. But we've built in questions throughout the curriculum to help them share things about their experience, about their background, about themselves, so that throughout the class, whether they realize it or not, they're finding little points of connection with each other. They're finding things that resonate with each other so they know that person, I can relate to them on this level. We have the same family structure. We have the same pet peeves or frustrations. Our husbands would be best friends. And they start to form these relationships organically so that they leave and they're friends and they're hanging out outside of class, but they didn't have to go through the awkwardness that comes with that so often when you don't have a program like this. So I think that's another part that's really cool, is that each class becomes their own living, breathing organism. They have their own personality, their own interests, their own hobbies. They do things outside of class that we find out about later. And it's because we create the structure for them to become friends independent and outside of our program.
I love that. That is so important. And I'm an extrovert and I would like just adopt introverted pregnant people. When I was pregnant, I would just walk up to them. I'm still friends with some of them today. It's like, you're my friend now. We have the same size belly. We're due in the same month. Let's do this. But it is labor to just put yourself out there, or to, to have these interactions. I've been like talking to my kids. My kids are a little bit older, but I've been teaching them how to speak to adults or how to introduce themselves to a child. And I tell them, I'm like, these are things adults struggle with too. Like, I need you to know you're not struggling because you're 10 years old. You're struggling because this is a hard skill. And I'm trying to give you
Yes.
the heads up to like work on it when you're 10. I just love this because, it's bringing me back to when I was had a doula practice. We had a team of doulas. We had a lot of clients, enough to do these prenatal and postpartum workshops. And they were a little different from what you're talking about, but the effect of inviting people with tiny babies out once a month to gather around was so powerful. And I'm remembering this one time that there was a mom who called us and she said, I can't make it today. And it was like 10 minutes before the start. And we said, okay, what's going on? And she said, the baby is just will not stop crying. I've been driving around for 20 minutes. I'm just going to go home. And we were like, do not go home. Get your get yourself here and let your baby cry while you're surrounded
Yes.
by your people. And she did, but she needed, that invitation to come and have a safe place to mother imperfectly. Certainly, even though I wouldn't call a crying baby imperfectly mothering, but it can feel like that from our perception of like, we can't have a baby cry. We can't have a poop diaper. We can't pull out our breasts to breastfeed. Like, there's this feeling of like inconveniencing in other public spaces. So to have this place where you can even like try out, what does it feel like to leave the house? Knowing that you're going to
Yes.
get to a place where not only is your baby allowed to cry and allowed to, poop and feed and do whatever they need to do, but you will also have people to catch you and help you and talk to you and talk you down if you need to be talked down, or hold your baby while you go pee, or help you get in and out of the car. Like,
Yes.
there's just it can't, it's like, it literally is. And I know it's the name, but it literally is like new mom school. Like you get to practice that skill the same way you would
Hmm.
practice all the other skills that you learn. Being a new mom, I think there's this like perception, right, of like, it's natural, your instincts just kick in. It's like, you know what? No, my love for my baby is certainly chemically driven in the beginning, right? Because they're mostly just an adorable little blob that I am like hormonally matched to want to fiercely protect and love. And even that can have a bumpy start in the beginning, as you spoke about. But there is a learning curve to taking care of a baby. And there's a learning curve to figuring out how to get your own needs met at the same time as taking care of your baby. And there's a learning curve to figuring out what if everyone has needs at the same time? Yourself, your new baby, maybe an older sibling, maybe a twin sibling. Like there's so
Yes,
much to learn, and to be able to do it within this context of a place where everybody else is also learning and also figuring it out and can help each other learn and grow, or even just make mistakes with a judgment-free environment. Oh, it's just so beautiful. And it makes such perfect
absolutely.
sense to me.
And that's one thing I wanted to talk about too is the environment of New Mom School, because even though we have school in our name, it is unlike any other school you've ever seen, right? The environment is very laid back. We have a big circle rug and floor chairs that are on the ground, and then baby comes with mom, and we all sit on the ground around in a circle, and baby's on the mats in front of mom. And we have breastfeeding pillows, everything's stocked with diapers, wipes, postpartum recovery supplies, breastfeeding supplies. We have snacks, we have coffee, we've got water, we've got everything that mom needs to feel comfortable. And like you said, if someone needs to change a diaper or breastfeed, or if baby gets fussy, we encourage them to stay in the circle and take care of that right there so that they can see that there is no shame in attending to whatever your baby's needs are. It's totally normal and natural, and it's not disruptive to the flow of class at all. And I think that sometimes people think we're going to have whiteboards and desks, and that's certainly not the vibe. But we do have homework, and our homework is a little bit different than you might think, too. The assignments are very small at the beginning and they gradually scale up, but they're all about empowering mom to prioritize her needs
Mm.
and take care of herself and to find her new identity. So, for example, for one of the first weeks, the homework assignment is just to brush your teeth before 10 a.m. That's it.
That
Because
that
it,
doesn't sound hard, and yet I'm thinking
yeah,
back to newbornhood, and if I brushed my teeth at all during the day, that would be a huge win.
it's a win, right?
Yeah,
And so something as simple as that can help mom feel like a human, and it just gives her something to focus on so that every class we say, what's your win of the week? And sometimes it can be as small as I brush my teeth, or sometimes the win is just that they made it to class that day. And maybe it's something bigger, like they were able to have a date night with their partner, and baby slept through the night, whatever it might be. But we like to focus on all the little achievements that they've had and celebrate those, because it can be so easy to fixate on what's hard and what's going wrong in our quote unquote opinion. And we forget that we're accomplishing so much day to day as moms. And it's worth celebrating that before this, you didn't know how to take care of a newborn. And now you're able to go out and about with your child, and you're discovering who you are in this new phase of life.
I love that. That's so important. And it's an incredible offering. So, for anybody who's listening to this and it's just like, oh my goodness, I need in on this, how do new parents find you in your area? How do they find new mom schools? How do they start a new one? What was your journey like in that, if you want to share a little bit? But let's talk specifics on
Yeah.
like jumping in, because I'm not having any more babies, but if I was, this is what I would be doing. This is so powerful and such a missing piece that's going to make it just feels so much better for everyone. I love this so much.
Yes. So there's a couple ways that you may have already heard about us if you're in Oklahoma. So some of our biggest partners are the OBGYNs and pediatricians in our area. We partner with them directly and they are recommending our program to their patients, which is incredible because they see the moms that are in the thick of it and can point them in the right direction. Something about the state of maternal health in Oklahoma, if I could just comment on that, is that we are 48th in the country for maternal health, 48th, which is crisis level. We are what is called a maternal health desert, in that for every 11,000 women, there is one OBGYN. So, as amazing as our health professionals are, there's just not enough of them to satisfy the needs of all of the moms that need support. And just at the hospital that I gave birth at, they have over 400 births a month. And so there are so many new families blossoming here, and there's just a complete lack of resources for them. And so our mission is to help fill that gap. So the way that moms can set themselves up for success and join our program, or if you're listening and you know someone who's expecting who would be a great fit for this, you can sign up for our classes as an expecting mom. That's our recommended route because one, it's a little cheaper, and two, it allows us to keep in touch with you. And whether baby comes early, late, or on time, we will slot you in the best newborn class for your timeline so that you're with other moms who have babies born in that same period of time. And it saves your spot because our newborn classes tend to sell out quickly. So you can register at newmomschool.com for any of our locations. If baby's already here and you're realizing that you need support, you can definitely sign up. After baby is born, we start a new class cohort every month. We have a newborn class, an infant class, a second time mom class, and this summer we'll be rolling out at our location. They already have this at some other locations, but a rising toddler class for 6 to 12 months old. So whether you just had a baby yesterday or a few weeks ago or a few months ago, we have options for you that are curated and specifically designed to where you're at in motherhood. For any Be Her Village listeners, I did create a discount code. So if anyone goes to checkout and types in Village 50, they can get $50 off any of our 8 week class series, which covers about a class and a half of our program. So we would love to see the moms in class. We have very small class sizes to kind of foster that bonding and the friendship building. And so we recommend, again, signing up as soon as you're expecting to save that spot. But we'll be here for you at any step of the way.
That's absolutely amazing. I'm so excited about the coupon code. All of your sign up links and that code will be in the show notes. So head to the show notes if you're listening to this and get connected with New Mom School and with Jaclyn because this is incredible. And this feels like the missing piece for new moms, truly. I can't understate or overstate. I can't overstate how important community is. I think there's an enormous, enormous amount of energy put into thinking about products, about cribs, about nurseries, about decor, about the baby shower, about favors, about this and about that. And even honestly, even a lot of energy put into the day of your birthday and what it looks like when you're giving birth. Are you having an epidural? Are you not? Are you formula feeding? Are you breastfeeding? And I don't think there's enough energy put into what about my community? What about my mom friends? Where am I finding them? How am I getting plugged in to people who understand my experience? And New Mom School is the answer to that. And it's just such an incredible and important offering. And I'm really grateful for you launching this and sharing it with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell our expecting moms, everyone has a birth plan. You have a birth plan, probably down to the smallest detail, but the birth is only 48 hours of your life on average, right? Postpartum is forever. And so set yourself up for success, plan for support postpartum, and your baby, your family, and your future self will thank you for pouring into yourself in the same way that you're going to pour into this new little life. So, we are so excited to be changing the game for the postpartum experience for all the moms in Oklahoma. And I know that my sister franchise owners are having so much success across the country. We are 28 locations and counting and have served over 10,000 moms across the country, and we're just getting started. So, thank you again for inviting me to have this conversation with you. And follow us on Instagram if you want more information or just want to be connected with local resources in the birth community. It's new Mom School _Edmond. And we hope to see everyone in class.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Jaclyn is an absolute powerhouse. She is an incredible professional. And the way that she's using her motherhood experience in order to create something really exciting for new moms in her community is really, really inspiring to me. And part of why we instantly clicked is because that is also my story. This entry into motherhood can be bumpy and it can be much harder than it needs to be, especially when you don't have that community of support around you. The new Mom School is what every single new mom needs, that community connection, that in-person community connection with moms that are in the exact same stage of motherhood as you. And I'm so excited that I was able to share the new Mom School with you and what Jaclyn is doing with all of you. If you are interested in connecting with Jaclyn, attending her new Mom School, or even opening your own, please look at the show notes. All the links are there. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, bye.